Anyhow, if whoever is in there knows where we are in the rotation, go ahead and pick it up. Otherwise, John, direct them. W9GYC.
WA9ZPM cutting in. The other mic, a ZPM, pick it up and then throw it to QPQ and QP to Art, and then back around to me there. Our road, I guess. And so we get a rotation going. Go ahead, Mike. Okay, just checking in here. Obviously not going to Xenia, so I've been listening for a while, and I'll just turn over to QPQ's W9ZPM.
Well, you guys kind of forgot Adam over there, but okay, that's kind of cool. So the meeting turned out pretty well. That's cool. One of these days, maybe I'll have to make that one whenever they have it again. You know, who knows? I was at a Knights of Columbus meeting last night at 7:30. It lasted until about 9 o'clock. We're talking about finances and putting together a new budget for the upcoming fiscal year for the Knights over here. So that was a big portion of the meeting, talking about finances and the investments that the club has made over the years in their accounts and type of a deal like that. But go ahead there, Mr. Adam. You must be getting itchy to get your stuff packed, get your bags packed, and get on the road. KB9QPNQ.
Well, it's 5 minutes to pack, so it's pretty easy to do. 4-hour drive, run around for a day, turn around, come home. Yeah, it's 300 miles each way, so it's zip down and zip back type of deal. W9AFK over to, I don't know, Mike, GYC, go ahead, pick it up.
Okay there. How are you doing today, Adam? Yeah, that'll be your first. You'll get an experience out of that. It's a big one. I attended for 47 straight years until they moved to the mud hole. And I guess it's getting better, so maybe we'll give it a try again next time and see. But once they did that, I started doing the Orlando thing every year too, and it grew bigger and bigger. And I find a lot of the stuff I'm looking for too. I don't care. Like, I'm opposite of John. He goes in looking for this stuff. I don't go. I'm not looking to buy any ham stuff there. I'm just unless it's parts for the old rigs that I restore. Or sometimes I'll get a rig that's as is that I know I can restore. But I'll mostly looking for high voltage parts all the time. Back in the day when we were hot and heavy with the two-way stuff too, we would look for a lot of the Motorola commercial gear and stuff. But most of that stuff is of no use other than to hams now because of the narrow bandwidth. So. And you're not going to, well, you will every once in a while, even at Orlando. I found some of the new digital P25 stuff, but I mean, you know, you're still looking at thousands and thousands of dollars for it, so, you know, average ham is not going to spend that, you know, so. But other than that, and I guess I'll give it back to you, Mike, and then keep it going in the rotation there. CPM to take it, W9GYC.
Okay, the only Hamfest I get to is the Hamfester one. I used to go to the Kankakee one too, which held at the same place, but I think they're discontinuing that one. So it'll just be the Hamfester one, and I've been involved in helping out with it. So I just take it at that. I have enough stuff here to play around with. I don't need more stuff. In fact, I got something here I'm building for All-Star. It's using some parts that are probably over 40 years old, but they're laying around, and at the age of 74, they've been laying around for so long, and chances are I won't be here 40 years from now, and what's going to happen to all that stuff. So I want to use what I got. and just buy what I have to. And other than that, I don't know what else to say. Even the old stuff, if it's got something unique about it quality-wise, yeah, but sometimes some of the old stuff isn't so good either. I'm one for, especially when it comes to audio, I want audio quality, but I want to do it in a way that's as simple and honest as possible. And if the new technology is better, we'll use the new technology. And I mean, vinyl records, for example, are very popular, but actually their quality is, you'd have to get the very best equipment to get their quality, and it's very delicate, and it requires a lot of skill to set it up properly. Over to, I don't know if I go to PQ or not. This is the W9ZPM.
Yeah, I'll take it quick, Mike. And I'm going to jump out of here today. I have to work today, so today's a work day, so I got to get up and roll and get things moving here with the dogs and feed the fish and yada yada yada, and start getting dressed, the cleanup process, and get out the door. But you'll figure that All-Star out eventually, Mike. I think you got it pretty well dialed in now, so sounding good. And the only Hamfest I'm probably going to make this year is that Piatone one. I'm going to wait for the Hamfesters Fest, and who knows, I might even lend a hand to help them out and volunteer doing certain things for them too. So since I'm now a member of Hamfester, so we'll see how that goes. And maybe we can get a group early in the morning and show up for breakfast someplace on the day of the Hamfest, and then we can commiserate and laugh and joke and goof off type of a deal, and then go to the Hamfest and then enjoy the outdoor festivities depending on the weather. All right, guys, 7-3s. Everybody have a super duper fantastic day. Have a great weekend. The temperature should be fine. Yeah, I seen the same thing, Mike. A little white on the grass, and I had to shake my head too. I ran outside to move a couple of cars around so can get in the garage and get the other vehicle out, that type of a deal. And I was totally disgusted because how chilly it was outside. May, unbelievable. It's just like winter's just not letting go. But hopefully this weekend it'll be at 80-degree temperatures. It's going to be fantastic. All right, guys, 7-3s. Have a good day from KB9QPQ.
73, John. KB9FQB.
John, enjoy your day. Bring your HT with you if you got to work. We can see if it works. DYC, good morning. What's going on? Where are you off to this morning?
Well, I started at Payless Fire Department, and I ended up at Willow Springs Police Department, and now I'm going up to Lake Bluff, and then up to Kenosha, and then I'll be back. So, little scenery here. I'm on the tollway now. So far, so good. It's been hit and miss with this thing. You know, it depends on. You always want to be on the highway by like no later than 6:30, or else. You know, and it seems to be almost having to do it earlier and earlier now. More and more cars out all the time. You know. So, yeah. I agree with Mike on the high-end audio stuff. I use tube-type amps, Macintosh 275 for the left and right, and the 100 for the center channel. JBL Century 100 speakers, and then I have a Stanton 40 cartridge for the LPs, and I love the way that sounds. And there's something to be said about the older radios for audio too, especially the ones that had AM transmit capabilities. You know, you had a real modulator with a transformer. You know, it's not like today. As you know, Adam, most of my base stations all are still tube type, and I use various different microphones for. And go by what Well, first of all, I have a scope hooked up so I can see what my audio pattern looks like, but I also go by what the people on the other are saying, because they get, and it's amazing how some mics that were made to go with a particular radio don't sound anywhere near as good as some of the others. But I built up years ago a junction box that had all of the various connectors on it that you would, audio type connectors, and then the output, the 3H to go to my rig. And and then I have a matching that transformer in there that I could bring in with a double pole, double throw switch if I have to change the impedance to get it higher. And I've used everything from, dynamics to controlled reluctance to carbon ribbon to, and so always like experimenting with that. Back to Mike, ZPM, W9GY.
Okay, well, the whole thing about audio, there's a lot of different ways you can go, and of course amateur radio is a low fidelity medium. I mean, the mics I have here, like I said, in fact I gave a presentation I think a year ago on mics at Hamfesters, and it was actually the mics I've got, which are mid-grade PA microphones like Shure 544 and Electro Voice 664, and some others are actually, they're an overkill for ham radio because it's narrow band. In fact, I find just a good electret condenser mic probably sounds just as good if you use it right. I think the biggest problem with what I hear on ham radio is the breath pops and when people talk, and I think that's more regardless of what kind of microphone, the kind of microphone you've got. It's just like the mic I have now, which is a Shure 544, is I got the thing off to the side of my mouth. It's off at the corner of my mouth, so I'm not speaking head on into it. I think that's the most important thing, no matter what kind of microphone you have, anywhere for any purpose. Don't have it head on in front of your mouth. And at the receiving end, I think, is a speaker. Everything I've got, I have a 5 or 6 inch speaker connected to the output. It's usually just a speaker hooked to the external speaker plug. Don't have any fancy amplifiers or anything, but the larger speaker, I think, is the more important thing, and that's the problem I have with today's electronics, is the speakers are too small. I see people throwing away hi-fi systems, and they're going to those Alexa things, and there's not even a 2-inch speaker in there, and I can't stand hearing them. This is WA9ZPM.
John's on. Let me see if I got it here. Let's see. I got to order. I found a 3D printer for an external speaker for the 991. I got the housing made, and my son's got a 3D printer, and it gives me a specs on the speaker to order it. I have to order that. Maybe I'll do that today. It'll bolt the whole patterns. It'll just bolt right in then. But I want to do it. I got it sitting here next to it. So it's and the reviews on the people that have built it with the specific speaker that they talk about, I think it's about a 3.5-inch speaker goes in its housing. It's the same height as the radio. It's so it's not as big as that, but and it's about 6 inches wide, and it's I guess about 3.5, 4 inches tall. To match the radio. So I'm gonna get that. But the reviews on that, they said with that specific speaker that they recommend have been very good. So I should gotta finish that up to and with that, guys, I gotta jump out of here myself. I got some stuff to do this morning, and I'm gonna go have some breakfast and get my day started. 7-3, I think it goes over to Adam and then Mike, and catch you guys later. KB9FQB.
See you later.
QB 73. 72.999. GYC, what time do you get up in the morning?
I usually am out by 5:30.
You're up or you're out?
Usually out the door. Depends on where I'm going. If it's local stuff, it's later. But if it's stuff where I got to be on the highway, I go earlier so I don't spend all the time in traffic. Yesterday I was up in Indiana, and you know, same thing. Otherwise, you get stuck on 80 in the afternoon, and you're screwed. You know, so I liked yesterday when I made sure I was back by like 11, so I missed all of the rush both ways.
Yeah, that's good that you missed the rush. But no, listen, I was here at like 5:15 this morning, and I'm just I'm almost caught up. You know, every morning it's the grind. How come you haven't retired yet, Mike?
I'm not old enough.
Are you 21 still?
77 last Friday, or 2 Fridays ago rather. Yeah. Well, you know, and you get rusty, your brain starts to go, and you get out of shape and everything. You know, think about this. I mean, I turned actually what was a hobby into a business, and you know, I could if I was home sitting around, I'd probably be playing radio all day, and I go to work and I play radio all day, so, you know, same thing. So, it's not a job unless you really hate going to it. And I have people, some of my customers are, some of my oldest customers I've had for 56 years already. And, you know, I'm going through generations of people there. And, you know, it's kind of nice getting out and meeting with people and talking around, you know, doing stuff like that, you know. And over the last few years, I've cut back, as you know. I mean, it's gone for 6 months, only came back twice for 4 days at a time. And unless it's emergency stuff, I do the scheduling, so it's not a big deal, you know. I'm home by lunchtime, so, you know, it's okay. Yeah, Mike was talking about using an external speaker, and John doing the same. I do the same, only most of these radios, and Mike is right, I mean, they got an 1.5-2 inch speaker, and there's certainly no fidelity to those, so most of the manufacturers make an external speaker. Some of the older radios, Kenwoods and that, used to have a decent size enclosure, so the speaker sounded pretty decent. But I use the studio monitors. I have 12-inch speakers on my bass rig at home, and the old General Electric, like they used to use in radio stations for the FB, you know, in-house listening, and especially when I'm operating AM, it really makes a difference, you know. And also in the digital modes too. Even on DMR, it almost makes it sound like AM and with the large speaker, so it works. So, anywho, I give it to Mike. Go ahead, Mike.
Okay, well, yeah, I'd go so for ham radio, I wouldn't go so far as using high fidelity speakers. You get a narrow bandwidth, especially going through repeaters. It's a bit better on simplex. I just want speakers that give a smooth response over the range of frequencies that the transceiver's going to be feeding to it, and doesn't have the breakup and rattle and distortion. And speaker size is important because you got to move air, and if you want to move the air and you go down in pitch, the frequencies get low, the wavelengths get longer, just like antennas. If you're trying to operate HF, you got to have a big antenna if you're going to get anywhere with it. So it's just the laws of physics. I mean, just look at musical instruments. The ones that produce deep bass tones are huge. The ones that are small, like a flute, just produce higher pitched tones. It's just the laws of physics. I saw a flute that was it was called a contraflute. The thing stands 6 feet tall, and it's shaped, the upper part of it's shaped like a U, and then has a leg that comes off of it where the mouthpiece is, and even that thing only goes down about I heard the lowest notes on it, and it was only goes down about 250 or 300 hertz, and it doesn't produce much volume because it needs so much air. So if you're going to use that thing in an orchestra, you're going to have to either put a pickup on it or put a microphone to it and amplify it electronically. But I just want quality, and that's what really appalls me, is that even the way people listen to music today, I see audio stereo systems just getting tossed out or going into disuse, and they just want convenience. And the only good thing I can say is the headphone industry has exploded. And I guess if you want quality sound today, you go with headphones. And I see people walking around with headphones on. This is WA9ZPM.
Hey, GYC, I got a question for you. Have you monkeyed around with any satellite stuff?
I've been an AMSAT member since they came out. I've got active, I'm on the satellite stuff. I've got the R station. I've got the Yagis, Loop Yagis, and I also have microwave dishes, so I can do the ME and the satellite stuff. But I'll probably doing that for 40 years.
Got it. Okay. Well, I'm just I'm investigating and looking into doing all this because now that I got DMR, I figured out DMR Plus last night. So now I'm looking for a new adventure.
Yeah, there's plenty of computer programs out there that will keep you, to show you where. I mean, you really have to have it because your window of operation is very limited because of the time as they go around. But you have like, if you have the antenna stuff, you can work the space shuttle, you can work the space station, you can work the low Earth orbit satellites. You can have, you just have to have with the program, it'll tell you the elevation and that you need to be at the particular time at the, you can use the programs, and then of course you have to have a special rotor because you have to be able to raise and lower the antenna as well as the rotational aspect of it. But Yaesu makes one of those. It's one rotor that does both, azimuth and elevation, so you can do that. And 2 meters and 440, or 2 meters and 10 meters. You can do either, or if you have the microwave stuff, you can do that too. But there's quite a few of them up there now. Japan has also been very active in keeping that aspect of the hobby going. So, and to Mike too, I don't use big speakers like that on the 2 meter or 440 stuff. I'm talking about on the low bands. We do operate still on AM and then of course sideband, but it does make a difference on there. And those are tube type receivers that also still have a transformer, so they work well together. But Mike, go ahead and take it. W9ORC.
Well, yeah, that's still just very inefficient. Those transformers can be poor quality, too. In fact, I think in AM broadcasting, almost all the stations have gone to solid-state transmitters, and they use a pulse width modulation, where I think with no audio, during silent periods, the duty cycle's about 40%, and then they just modulate the pulse width. Of course, negative going, and they narrow it, and positive going, they widen it. and they go at 40%, so the positive peaks can go to 110% modulation. And it's so much more efficient. And of course, the big thing in a broadcast station is if you're putting out 50,000 watts, you need, or even 5,000 watts. Your electric bill is the biggest part of the cost of operating, and this way it's much more efficient. I hear some of those transmitters are as much as 80 or 90% efficient. And although AM radio is dying out, it's not as popular as it used to be. In fact, I heard in Australia they didn't have FM until 1980, and when FM came out there, a lot of them switched over to FM from AM, but there's a few that are still on AM. And I'm not the broadcast industry. I haven't been in myself. It's been going through retrenchment for half a century and cutting people out. And what's left of it is not what it used to be. This is WA9ZPM.